everyone, my name is Amlan and I'm a financial analyst intern here at 3E Management. And today I am going to be discussing drawdowns in the context of private equity and also lending. So I'm going to start off with private equity, and I have this multifamily acquisitions model from Top Shelf Models I'll be using to demonstrate. So in private equity, money that is committed by limited partners to the fund is referred to as committed capital. This is money that investors have promised to contribute to the fund in order to purchase an asset or fund any expenses during the life of that asset. The full capital committed is rarely invested immediately and is drawn down over time as more investment opportunities are identified. So a drawdown, or a capital call as we see here, is the legal right of a private equity firm to demand a portion of the committed capital from the limited partners to pay for a newly identified investment or any expenses. So it's basically the act of transferring the promised funds to the investment target. Just a few key terminologies here. The cumulative amount of capital that has been drawn down is called paid-in capital, and the amount of paid-in capital that has been invested is referred to as invested capital. Pretty simple. So limited partners contribute to the fund pro rata, meaning that their contribution to the capital calls are proportional to the total capital committed to the fund. So in this example, we have the waterfall model right here. And we can see that the capital call occurs only in month 0. So in this scenario, the total capital is called in the beginning rather than incrementally throughout the investment period. And as we can see, this amount is linked to the cell D320 in the monthly cash flow section. So if we were to go there, right here, 320, D320 is right there. So that refers to the peak capital. And what that means is just the equity capital that is put into the investment. And we can say that because we are in the levered cash flow section. And if we were to go to the unlevered summary, we could see that this peak capital amount jumps to 9.7 million from 2.9 million because the unlevered cash flow summary assumes that there is no debt funding and this project is completely funded by equity. So going back down to the levered cash flow, we can see that that amount drops as we include debt funding in our analysis. So next, I'm going to briefly go over the lending side of drawdowns. For that, I'm going to switch to the multifamily development model. All right, there we go. So drawdowns in lending refers to the ability to borrow money in chunks from the total loan amount, instead of having to take out the full amount in which all the capital might not be needed. These are commonly seen in construction projects and tenant improvements for office buildings, etc. Usually in these scenarios, the equity portion of the total capital is utilized before the drawdowns from the loans begin. And what drawdowns do is they basically provide the reassurance of having access to money in the future if needed. So in this quick example, we see that the proceeds section right here in the construction portion of the levered cash flows. And going to the right over here, we see the first 3 months, the amount of proceeds are 0, and then we start taking out amounts from the total loan. The reason it is 0 is because in this section, we are using the equity capital. And after that, we will incrementally take some of the proceeds from the loans to fund the development. So in conclusion, a drawdown or a capital call is the demanding of funds promised from the limited partner for an investment. The committed capital usually is drawn out over a period depending on the investment opportunities that arise. And in modeling, the capital call is usually seen at the beginning of the investment period and is usually linked to the peak capital that we saw. In lending, drawdown loans or proceeds allow the borrower to take out a loan in smaller portions based on the requirement. This allows for a more efficient use of loan funds and gives the borrower the facility to access more money in the future if needed.